So I've opened up the link from Slides. This middle space that I'm highlighting with my mouse, this is where we add the code, right? It's kind of like a textbook or a sketchbook. On the right-hand side, underneath this green flag, go, and then the stop sign, this is where our code happens, so it shows what we've written in the middle part. And on the left side, we have the code blocks. And notice that each of the code blocks are color coded. You can scroll down to see all of them, or if you know that you're looking for something related to sound or motion, you can just click on the colors here. So to add a character, we're adding, my name has 4 letters in it, A-N-N-A. So I'm going to be adding 4 different sprites. So I'm going to go here to the little cat icon where it says choose a sprite. And I'm going to go directly to letters because we're going to be typing out our names. And I'm going to choose an A. So my A pops up here. I'm going to move it to the side so I can fill out the rest of my name in this space. This position, once I've set it, this is going to be its like default position. And I'm just going to keep adding letters so I can type out my name. Let's add the ends. I'm going to add the second N. And then the last A, I'm going to make it the same as the first A. You guys don't have to use letters for this exercise. You can also use any of these sprites that are shaped like a letter. So like Andy is shaped like an A, Amon is kind of shaped like an A. You know, the button could be an O, something like that. So it doesn't have to be a letter. I'm just doing that because it's easy at the moment, just to show you what I'm trying to do. Okay, but you can use anything here that kind of resembles the shape of a letter. So I'm going to go back. We said that we're going to add 3 different animations to 3 different letters in our names. And that's going to be, let's see, color change, size change, and movement. So I'm going to start with the first sprite. So I'm going to click on block A, and we're going to go ahead and do color change. So color change is under looks. And I'm going to drag out the block that says change color effect by 25. Okay? So nothing happens when I drag out just this block because it's not telling me when the color change is going to happen. It's only telling me what's happening, but it's not giving, I'm not giving it a command at the moment. So to give it a command, I need to go to events. So I can either choose when this little green flag is pressed, so that means that if the user goes up here and presses go, the color change will happen, or I can do when the sprite is clicked. So if I drag this out, it means that when I press on the letter A, the color is going to change by 25. So I'm going to click and notice that it changes by 25. 25 means colors are on a spectrum from 0 to 255, so it just kind of randomly changes the color each time. Okay? So that's the first animation. Very simple. The second animation that we said we're going to do is size change. Size change, yes. So again, size is under looks. We're going to go to change size by 10, and I'm going to drag it out here. Notice that I changed sprite. So the first one was A, and I changed the color. For my second letter, I'm changing the size. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Again, same deal. Nothing is happening because I'm not telling it when to do the thing that I'm asking it to do. I told it change size by 10, but I'm not giving it a command. So I'm going to go back to events. When this sprite clicked, change size by 10. So let's see what happens. Every time I click it, it's going to get increasingly bigger. Okay? Notice here the size. It went from 100 up to 270. I'm going to reset it to 100. Let's say that I want it to change by 10 and then return to normal, right? Because I don't want it to keep getting bigger. So what I can do is we can change it by, let's say 50. And then, so 50 is going to make it bigger times 50. And then if I do minus 50, it's going to return to its original size. So let's see what happens when I do that. Nothing really happened, right? The code in this way, it runs really fast. So I need to give it a little bit of space in between these two actions so that it becomes bigger by 50, pauses a second, and then returns to its original size. So to do that, if I go into control and I wait 1 second, or let's say even 2 seconds, it's going to give it a little bit of a pause. So I'm going to click on 2, boom. I clicked on the letter N, it waited 2 seconds after it got big, and then it returned to its normal size. Okay, I'll show you again what happens if I don't have that wait for 2 seconds. It runs so fast that I can't even see the effect. So I need to add something in between to give it a little bit of a chance to show me what's going on. Okay? Then last thing we're going to do is movement. So I'm going to code my last letter. And movement is under motion. And what we could do is, I kind of like this one, go to random position. So let's use this. And I want it to go to a random position and then return to its original position, which is 121 and x14. So if I pull out the block underneath it, it's telling me already the original position. See, 121 and 14, 121 and 14. So I'm going to go back to events, and I'm going to say when this sprite clicked. So it's going to go somewhere random on the screen and then go back to the original position. So I'm going to press that. And again, it ran the code so fast that we couldn't see what was happening. So I'm going to give it a little bit of space. I'm going to tell it to go to that random position. I want him to wait 3 seconds in that random position, and after that it's going to go back to the original spot. So let's try it. Okay, I keep clicking, it's sending it somewhere random, and then after 3 seconds it's sending it back. Extra thing that you want to do if you have like extra letters, let's say I'm going to tell you guys how to pronounce my name. So on my 4th and final letter, I'm going to say when this sprite clicked, I'm going to give you my pronunciation. You say Anna, not Anna, Anna, for 2 seconds. Alright, so I have all of them coded. Each sprite has its own block of code. Each sprite is doing something different whenever I click on it. And that's it.